Assalamu alaikum, ladies and gentlemen. We are back for another collaboration with our good friend Rio from MMA All Out, myself, Abdullah Zbaid from breakyourface.com, and we are honored to welcome with us today the founder and president of Bare Knuckle Fighting Championship, Mr. David Feldman. David, welcome to the show. How's your day going so far?
It's doing great, guys, man. Thanks for having me.
David, thank you so much for taking the time to, I know you're busy. I know we're trying to do this for a long time, but I really, really appreciate the fact that you gave us some of your time.
Of course, Rio. Thank you.
It's a pleasure having you here with us. You know, to start, David, we'd like to go back a little. Some may know that you yourself were a professional boxer. You grew up, as a matter of fact, into the sport, decades of experience now in it. Tell us about how you moved, though, from boxing to promoting it, and what inspired you to get into bare knuckle boxing.
My boxing career, it was good. I was actually a very talented fighter. It just, my father was training me as a Hall of Fame trainer, and we just butted heads too much. And I chose having a relationship with my father over my career because it just wasn't going to work, both of them. So after that, I opened up a bar restaurant, and I was in that for a little bit, and I just found myself getting back into the fight game. I started promoting boxing events, and then I think 2010, I promoted my first MMA event, and then I promoted mixed martial arts for a while. And actually 2011, I promoted my first bare knuckle fight, just one bare knuckle fight with an MMA undercard. And that's when, I knew it was really going to be something. But after that, I promoted boxing a little more until on all these, these 9 years that I was lobbying to get bare knuckle legalized in the United States. Took me 9 years, 28 states said no to me, and I finally was able to get the yes in 2018. And from there, really just, it was history.
David, you just spoke about your dad being inspiration, but I know for a fact it's your mother who's your biggest inspiration. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah, absolutely. My mother and father got divorced. My mother was beat up really bad by someone thrown out of a car, run over by a car, and left to be a quadriplegic for the rest of her life. And through that time, it's really where I learned to never quit, because my mother had really no use of her arms and legs, and she wrote poems that were published in magazines. She was tried as hard as she could to compete in wheelchair Paralympics but she didn't have a lot of use, so she was trying her best there. But the actual, I can show you. The real unique thing is this. My mother painted paintings with her. He had a paintbrush in her mouth, so she painted it with her mouth. She actually painted that picture right there with her mouth. So she just showed me really never to quit, and she was she had so much persistence and drive, and when I have bad days, I look at that painting and I go, wow, man. I said, it's nothing compared to what she went through, and she made it through, and I'm going to make it through. And she's absolutely my inspiration for everything I do now.
Did she ever make it to the Olympics? Or because I did commentary for the Special Olympics 2019. No, she didn't.
No, she didn't. She did it in Pennsylvania, but she attempted it, but her injuries were too bad for her to do it.
Very, very inspirational regardless, and I'm sure that helps you when expanding internationally. At BKFC, you've been doing really big things with events in the US, of course, but also in Thailand and the UK, events coming up in Canada and in Bulgaria. How's the international expansion been in general?
Yeah, it's going crazy. We're actually going to Mexico this year. We start our first event, a series with a big company called TV Azteca in Mexico. It's the second largest TV network down there. Nice. We're going to do something in South Korea this year. We just signed a deal with them. We're going to do a partnership with Ryzen. We're going to do some fighter swaps and maybe do an event there in Japan as well. And we're going to, our goal is in not too distant future to be in the UAE doing an event as well.
What great news. I saw your post a few days ago. I guess we're going to air this, I guess, in a couple of days. But 2 days ago or the day before yesterday, when I got in touch with you, you had a post that goes, "Today was a good day." Can we get a scoop on that signage that you had, or can you tell us something about it?
I won't go into detail, but it's a group from the Middle East that we're going to be doing a big deal out with. It's going to be a funding deal. It's going to be events there, and in the MENA area, and as well as India, and some other things that are involved in that deal as well. But it was we met these gentlemen a couple months back. They came to our big fight we did in Thailand when it was Bukal versus Sanchai. The two best Muay Thai fighters in history fought each other for us. And then we met him through there, and we forged a great friendship and relationship, and we turned it into a business deal, and it was signed this week, and we're going to put everything into action in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
But it's guaranteed. You guys will be in the Middle East. You will be in Dubai, right?
100%.
Oh, wow.
Amazing.
Great news.
100%. Yep.
Congratulations.
100%.
Congratulations on that, David.
Thank you.
You know, with both Rio's fan base and mine mainly focused on MMA, we have to, of course, ask about the transition of MMA fighters to bare knuckle boxing. One of the more successful ones being fan favorite Mike Perry, dangerous, violent champion, undefeated in the ring currently with a record of 4-0. All his opponents also former or current MMA fighters. Then you have the likes of Paige Van Zandt. Record may not be as strong, but her fan base definitely brings plenty of attention to the organization. Tell us your thoughts and experience with fighters transitioning from MMA to bare knuckle boxing, please.
You know, we have a lot of fighters coming out of Muay Thai, coming out of kickboxing, especially coming out of mixed martial arts, and now even more so coming out of boxing. So we do have a lot of fighters, a lot of big name fighters that are actually we're talking to right now about coming over from boxing. But mixed martial arts is where we get our core amount of fighters, and I think it's because they're kind of used to the hard object, meaning bare knuckle is a hard object, right? It may not be the impact of a boxing glove or an MMA punch because you're not throwing as hard, but you're getting hit with a sharp object, as you do with the elbow, the knee, and different other parts of your body that you get hit with in MMA. And I think that's why MMA fighters are able to transition quicker and faster and actually better right now than boxers and people from other combat sports, just because of that.
Yeah,
so you're coming to the Middle East, and if we give you an Aladdin magic lamp and you can rub it off and you can get any fighter in the world of all times, any fighter that would come in and fight bare knuckle. Give me 3 names you would like to have, future, present, past, that you would like them to be in bare knuckle fighting.
I mean, I think you got to go with Mike Tyson. I mean, who wouldn't want to see Mike Tyson hit someone with bare knuckles, right? And see the kind of damage that's going to do, right?
Not in the ring, but okay.
Absolutely. And then I'll go to MMA. You know, I wanted to have Francis Ngannou, and it didn't work out. But I think a devastating puncher like Francis Ngannou, to get some of the old school guys in there, you know, I think it would be great. George St. Pierre, I think, would actually compete really well inside bare knuckle. I think he's got the style for it. And in, you know, I had legends in Muay Thai fight already, Bukal and Sanchai, but I think I'd love to get one of my favorite fighters of all time, Marvelous Marvin Hagler. You know, I loved it because he had that style where he just came forward and he didn't back up, and he was awkward. He threw from everywhere. So I think he would probably be one of my favorites to be in there as well. Yeah,
but if you're gonna bring Marvelous Marvin Hagler, you have to bring all 4 of them: Duran, Sugar Ray, and you have to bring.
Can you imagine Sugar Ray? I mean, Roberto Duran versus Marvelous Marvin Hagler with no gloves on? It's crazy. Now listen, let's talk about it for a minute. Can you imagine? You have Conor McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather with gloves on, and he was in the fight. He wasn't really competitive to where he was going to win, but he was definitely in the fight. Now take the gloves off and add clinching. He probably could have done a lot better, right? So that's actually a fight I would love to see, not because of the dollars and cents, actually just an intriguing fight. Obviously, it would bring a ton of money to the organization, but just as an intriguing fight, because I think taking off the gloves and adding that clinch. So when the MMA guys clinch the back of a boxer's neck, I think it takes them out of their game. So I think that would be really interesting to see.
100%. David, I have to ask about my favorite BKFC fighter. You know, those who don't know her are actually surprised. This individual is the one that first brought my attention to the sport. None other than Taylor Killa Bee Starling. You know, it's unfortunate sometimes we hear criticism here and there about women in combat sports, how their fights may not be as exciting. You know, anytime this argument is brought up to me, I refer to her. An absolute killer. Her fights, without exception, always make me turn my face away at some point just from how painful they look. She can punch and man, she can absolutely take one. Not so lucky in her championship fight against Christine Faria, but a dominant decision victory in her most recent bout just last month. What does the future hold for Starling? Do you believe we'll see her in a title shot anytime soon?
Yeah, I live my life on I think you learn more from your failures than you do from your successes. And I think that failure that she had in that fight was, it was a shock to her. And I think that she's really going to come out and learn really well. Her last fight, she boxed beautifully. She looked really good. And I think it's going to change her for the better in the future. And yes, we're working out a contract right now to be on one of our biggest shows we've ever done in April. And if she takes that fight, it'll be actually a rematch of one of her fights that she had, and it'll be a tremendous fight. And then the winner of that absolutely would find himself in line for a championship.
When you talk about championships, they're all about turning points. One of the things I always wanted when I promised myself, when I see you, David, I'm going to ask you, the one time when you were in the car, you have heard some devastating news, and you made a video. Not many people know about this video, but you talk that this video had changed your life, and this is actually the point of your life that was responsible for all your success. Is it at all possible to tell us about that video? You know what I'm talking about, the one in the car.
Yeah, I talk about, people overcoming obstacles a lot. And, I had a bad day. I say, like, I wasn't a guy that sat around depressed for years or months or even days. I had a really bad day, really, really bad day. I got diagnosed with cancer for the second time. I was going through a lot of stuff in my home life. I was working on some big deals that fell through that day, and I was just like, where do I go from here? I drove to a bridge not far from where I lived, the Commodore Barry Bridge. I parked my car. Started walking up to the bridge. I grabbed the edge of the bridge, and I pushed away. I actually saw that picture of my mom. I saw that picture in my head, and I'm like, what are you doing here, man? Your mom went through way worse than you did. I pushed away, went in the car crying. I was crying the whole time. I went in the car. I made a video that said, I'll never be in this position again ever in my life. It's only going to be, I'm going to do the best I can do. I'll never give up. I'm going to change people's lives. Like, that's a big deal about what I'm doing too, is I'm going to change people's lives. So I made that video, and it was I was literally, I don't know, 10 seconds away from ending my life. And I saw, that you didn't need to. I pushed away and I made the best out of my life. And, hopefully I can be an inspiration to other people that are having some bad thoughts in their life that, it really doesn't, it's not that important. Like, things like that are not that important, but you can always overcome your obstacles as well. And that, that's a big thing from my mother and from what I do. Like, my successes are not really monetarily. Like, I could care less about money. Money doesn't mean anything to me, man. I learned by making money that money doesn't change and make you happy. It just doesn't. So I want to help change people's lives, people that bleed for me, people that risk their life for me, people that have been working for me for 6 years for almost no money just to get this thing to the best place it can be. I want to change their lives, and we're in the process of doing that a lot. And, that's what really makes me happy and what keeps me pushing forward.
Well, you're an inspiration. You're a gentleman and a half. Thank you so much. I'm speechless, honestly.
Yeah, absolutely inspirational, David. We don't want to take up too much more of your time. No doubt a busy day ahead of you, a ton of events coming up as well. Thank you so much for being such a gracious guest. We look forward to talking to you soon.
Take care, guys. Have a great day.
I'll see you in Dubai. We'll go to dinner.
I will hit you. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, guys.